Antoine Lavoisier, the tax collector and chemist. Antoine-Laurent Lavoisier was born into a privileged family on August 26, 1743, in France's capital city, Paris. His father was Jean-Antoine Lavoisier, a lawyer in the Paris Parliament. His mother was Émilie Punctis, whose family's wealth had come from a butchery business. She died when Antoine was 5 years old, leaving him a large amount of money. Between the ages of 11 and 18, Antoine was educated at Collège des Quatre-Nations, a college of the University of Paris. He studied general subjects there, including the sciences, in his final 2 years. Although he was very attracted to sciences, he enrolled in the college's law school at the age 18, aiming to pursue the same career as his father. His father had encouraged him to believe that science was merely a hobby, not a serious profession. After 2 years of studying law, Antoine Lavoisier was awarded a bachelor's degree. A year later, in 1764, he obtained a license to practice as a lawyer, but decided against this. While studying for his law degree, Lavoisier maintained his interest in science, attending science lectures in addition to law lectures. In 1764, the year he obtained his license to practice law, he also published his first scientific paper. In the same year, he read a paper to the elite French Academy of Sciences. He was elected to the French Academy of Sciences in 1769, aged just 26. In 1772, Lavoisier, another chemist, bought a diamond and placed it in a closed glass jar. They used a remarkable giant magnifying glass to focus the sun's rays on the diamond. The diamond burned and disappeared. Lavoisier noted the overall weight of the jar was unchanged, even though all of the diamond had disappeared. This observation would later be part of the evidence convincing him that his law of mass conservation was correct. Whether diamond or charcoal was burned by the giant lens, the same gas was produced. We now call it carbon dioxide. Lavoisier realized that diamond and charcoal are different forms of the same element. He gave this element the name carbon. In 1772, people did not understand the process of burning. They had inconsistent and confusing theories, chief of which was the theory of phlogiston, an undetectable substance which sometimes had negative mass. We now know that combustion happens when substances react with oxygen at high temperatures. In 1772, however, when Lavoisier began working in this field, oxygen's discovery by Joseph Priestley still lay 2 years in the future. Lavoisier's work enjoyed a great advantage over many other scientists, namely his great passion for making accurate measurements. He pursued quantitative rather than qualitative science. In 1772, Lavoisier discovered that when phosphorus or sulfur are burned in the air, the products are acidic. Products also weighed more than the original phosphorus or sulfur, suggesting the elements combined with something in the air to produce acids. In 1774, Joseph Priestley visited Paris. He told Lavoisier about the gas produced when he decomposed the compound we now call mercury oxide. This gas supported combustion much more powerfully than normal air. Priestley believed the gas was a particular pure version of air. He started calling it dephlogisticated air, believing its unusual properties were caused by the absence of phlogiston. Lavoisier did not believe in phlogiston. In 1779, Lavoisier coined the name oxygen for the element released by mercury oxide. He found oxygen made up 20% of air and was vital for combustion and respiration. He also concluded that when phosphorus and sulfur are burned in air, the products are formed by the reaction of these elements with oxygen. In 1778, Lavoisier found that when mercury oxide is heated, its weight decreases. The oxygen gas it releases has the same weight as the weight lost by the mercury oxide. While this may seem obvious to us today, it was less so in those days. After carrying out work with several different substances and recalling earlier work such as his work in 1772 with carbon, Lavoisier announced a new fundamental law of nature, the law of conservation of mass. It is often said that Lavoisier was the first scientist to state the principle of mass conservation. The law of mass conservation only became firmly established after Lavoisier independently discovered it. Lavoisier suspected that combustion and respiration are chemically the same. He demonstrated this with the help of Pierre-Simon Laplace. The pair measured the amount of carbon dioxide and heat given up by a guinea pig as it breathed. They compared this to the amount of heat produced when they burned carbon to produce the same amount of carbon dioxide as had been exhaled by the guinea pig. The results allowed Lavoisier to conclude that respiration is a form of combustion. The heat produced by mammals during respiration keeps their bodies above room temperature. In 1783, Lavoisier coined the name hydrogen for the gas which Henry Cavendish had recognized as a new element in 1766. Cavendish had called the gas inflammable air. Working again with Pierre-Simon Laplace, Lavoisier burned hydrogen with oxygen and found that water was produced, establishing that water is not an element, but it is a compound made from the elements hydrogen and oxygen. This result astonished many people because at that time everyone knew that water was itself one of the indivisible elements. Starting in 1791, Lavoisier served on the committee of the French Academy of Sciences, which developed the metric system of measurement. Other members of the committee included the well-known mathematicians Pierre-Simon Laplace and Adrien-Marie Legendre. In addition to his scientific research, Lavoisier was industrious in other fields. At the age of 26, he bought into a company that gathered tax for the French government. Having done this, he tried to reform tax law to help poorer taxpayers. He also served on the government's Gunpowder Commission, improving the quality of French gunpowder considerably. Lavoisier married Marianne Pierrette Paul in 1771. He was 28 and she was just 13. In marrying Marianne so young, he was acting at the request of her father, who was a senior member of the tax company Lavoisier had bought into. The Count de Marval, who was about 40, had proposed marriage to Marianne, and her father had been threatened with dismissal from the tax company if she did not say yes. Lavoisier stepped in and married her to provide Marianne and her father with a suitable excuse for not marrying the Count. Marianne was a skilled artist and well-educated. She helped Lavoisier considerably with his work, translating scientific papers from English into French, adding her notes and scientific criticism of papers, helping with laboratory work, making accurate drawings of laboratory apparatus for Lavoisier's scientific publications, and keeping accurate written records of Lavoisier's experiments. During the French Revolution, which began in 1789, wealthy people and anyone who had worked for the French government were under threat. In 1793, the revolutionaries put an end to the French Academy of Sciences and other academic societies. In 1794, Lavoisier was branded a traitor because of his involvement with taxation. He was also unpopular with revolutionaries because he had supported foreign scientists whom the revolutionaries wished to strip of their assets. Lavoisier was sentenced to death by the revolutionaries. Trumped-up charges against him included stealing money from France's treasury and giving it to France's enemies. Antoine Lavoisier died by the guillotine at the age of 50 on May 8, 1794 in Paris. Marianne's father and 26 other people were executed on the same occasion. At the end of 1795, in a U-turn, the French government found Lavoisier innocent of all charges. By then, of course, it was too late. He was just another innocent of the revolution's reign of terror. Lavoisier's wife and his tremendous contributions to chemistry survived. Thank you very much for watching our videos. We'd like to give you another interesting video for you to enjoy next. But before then, our team will be very happy if you can like this video and share it with your friends on social media. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss other interesting videos like this. Look at your screen now to see 2 other interesting videos we handpicked for you to enjoy next. We love you.